De volgende documentaire die we bespreken is Als een waterval. De film volgt Rosa en haar grootmoeder Rita, 2 vrouwen uit verschillende generaties die met elkaar verbonden zijn door familie en feministisch activisme. Rita Hendricks was in de jaren 70 een van de oprichters van Dolomina's. Nu, 55 jaar later, zet haar kleindochter Rosa die strijd op haar eigen manier voort. In intieme gesprekken kijken zij samen naar wat er in al die jaren is veranderd, maar ook naar welke strijdpunten nog altijd actueel zijn. Als een waterval is daarmee niet alleen een documentaire over feminisme en activisme, maar ook een persoonlijk portret van de bijzondere band tussen een grootmoeder en haar kleindochter. Sophie sprak gisteren met ze.
Nou, jullie zijn natuurlijk allebei de hoofdpersonages van de documentaire Als een waterval. Hoe zijn jullie benaderd door deze Deense studenten?
Hoe ik benaderd ben, in september ben ik bij de Dolomina's gegaan. En daar heb ik met mijn vader een media-workshop gegeven. En toen hebben we het even gehad over oma en over generationele feminisme. Met beeldmateriaal. En toen eigenlijk, een week later had ik ineens een DM in mijn, volgens mij was het via Instagram of Signal, over dat ze mensen wilden spreken voor deze documentaire. Dus in eerste instantie ging het gewoon alleen om een interview nog.
Ja, dat kwam natuurlijk uit de essentie van de Dolomina's. Want Rita, u bent aangesloten ook bij de Dolomina's. En in welke periode was dit?
69, hè, bij de oprichting van Dolomina.
Waar stonden jullie toen voor? In die tijd?
In die tijd, nou vooral dus dat vrouwen meer betrokken raakten bij, van mij uit dan bij de politiek. Hè? Dat er dus vanuit de politiek veel dingen moesten gebeuren. En dat er toch heel weinig vrouwen daar waren. Dus dat was een beetje de bedoeling.
Want wat was destijds voor jullie reden om te demonstreren of jullie te uiten?
De aandacht aan te besteden. Dus we hebben gewoon gebruik gemaakt van de media om aandacht voor het probleem. Dat was de aanleiding.
En is er toen ook iets veranderd door jullie?
Nou ja, niet door ons. We hebben groepen bij elkaar gekregen. En het was dus de bedoeling dat de vrouwen zelf dus dingen gingen doen. Dus er is veel meer, aan lange termijn was het dus de abortus natuurlijk, maar ook de gratis crèches. Er waren heel veel dingetjes zo. En de ongelijk tussen mannen en vrouwen, morele dingen.
Nou is het voor jou natuurlijk heel bijzonder om zo'n oma te hebben. En ik denk ook dat jullie het er samen veel over hebben gehad. Denk ik? Of tenminste is dat nog een beetje lastig?
Nee.
Hoe gaat dat dan als je het daarover hebt?
Nou ja, voor mijn gevoel hebben we het er wel over gehad. Ja. Ook omdat je wel op school langs bent geweest vroeger.
Toen met de geschiedenis.
Dus hoe het is om er... Ja, voor mij... Mensen die zijn altijd heel verbaasd als ik zeg dat mijn oma en opa medeoprichter waren van de Dolomina. Maar voor mij is het ook gewoon mijn oma waar ik gewoon een gesprek mee hou. En is het niet per se... nee. Ja, we houden gewoon gesprekken over het leven. En niet per se over de Dolomina's. En dat sluit dan wel bij elkaar aan.
Maar ben je wel trots op haar?
Tuurlijk ben ik trots op haar.
En ik op haar.
Ja, we hebben jou net gehoord, Sophie. Welcome to you both, Frida and Luna. You're also Danish. We just had Danish people. We're going to stay there, so we'll speak in English for the interview. What we ask to everybody is, can you explain everything about your documentary in one sentence? How would you describe it?
Wow, one sentence. That is really hard.
Maybe I would say like an intimate portrait of 2 generations and feminism.
All right.
That's one sentence. We'll take that.
Good job. And what is the meaning behind the title, Als een waterval? And why did you choose the Dutch version?
In the film, Rita explains how she views feminism like a waterfall. And it's something that you can't really contain in just one organization, and it doesn't necessarily need to be contained. And I think we really liked that way of thinking, and that's very Rita. And we also thought it was beautiful. And since most of the film is in Dutch, we really wanted it to be a Dutch title and to be true to what she's saying and not a translated version.
Yeah, how is that as well for you? Like everything was in Dutch, but you both
right?
you don't speak Dutch. Did you
was
have a
very
translator?
Yeah, it was really challenging. When we were out, we filmed everything ourselves and planned and so on. So when we were out filming, we had no idea what was being said before we got all the material translated by a nice guy who helped us out. So we had like 10 hours or something of filming that we have any clue of what was being said. So then we got it translated and then we understood. Yeah. So it was really difficult to edit as well, because sometimes you need to understand like the small words to be able to edit. Yeah. So it was challenging, but also a fun challenge.
But also like a lot of work, a lot of extra work compared to the other groups.
Extra work. Yeah. Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yes. I think we made a portrait of them that are as true to the reality as possible, and that's why we also chose to do it in Dutch, because that's the real language and we wanted it to be natural.
And why did you choose to get Rita and Luna to be the main characters, and why them?
Yeah, Rita and Rosa. Yeah.
Well, we kind of randomly stumbled upon Rosa, and we just had a meeting with her, and we thought she was really, really nice, and she was really well thought out in the way she speaks, and she's only 21 years old, but she's so smart and has so many brilliant thoughts about feminism. And then when we had this first meeting with her, she told us that her grandmother started the organization, and then we just thought we hit a jackpot. And well, we think for us Danes it's a bit different that you have this Dolomina, which is like intergenerational. So a lot of people from different generations working together. And that's what we wanted to capture with having both Rita and Rosa in the film.
So that's like combining the two generations as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So what made it like for you guys like, yes, we need to tell the story right now?
It's the new generation of Dolomina were rising in January 2025. So it was very like active when we came here.
And just that summer there had been a lot of like talk, and also a few femicides, especially in Amsterdam. Yeah. And I think that was very much still a big topic that was on everyone's minds. And that's something that the Dolomina, of course, deals with and talks about. So that's why it also felt very current for us.
And how did you find the right balance between the personal family story and the bigger political themes, as you said before?
I think by just following what was happening, and through their conversations and thoughts, they actually pointed out what direction the film took, I think. And then we just followed along. So it was a mix of them being very close as family, but also them having some thoughts upon society, but always taking the examples from their personal life. Yeah.
And for you guys as well, because you didn't speak Dutch, was it also like a bit like we go with the flow, we just follow them?
Yeah, very much. And I think we also talked about it was really nice to make it in Dutch, because when we were filming, we were very much just doing it like following the movements and having focus on their eyes and all of this, instead of having focus on what was being said. Yeah. So I feel we got very close with them and had this like very intimate time with them, when filming. So I think it was a force for us to not understand the language, actually.
But did it take some time to get that connection with them? Or was it just it instantly clicked?
I think they're both really open people. So for especially Rosa, it was really, really easy. And we spent a lot of time together also hanging out and getting beer and drinking coffee and eating lunch. So we spent a lot of time with her to get to know her and stuff. And I think for Rita, it was really important that it was something that her granddaughter wanted to do. And I think that was a major part of her wanting to participate. And that we also didn't make a film about Dolomina, but it was about them and their family and the relationship.
We also got to learn Rita a lot through Rosa before meeting her. I think the first time we met her was also the first day we were filming.
Was there something during filming that you discovered that you were like, okay, we have to focus more on this now?
I think,
as we didn't understand, it was quite difficult to take any directions or any choice from our side. Yeah. Because we didn't get it translated before quite late. Yeah. So we just followed along for quite a while and not knowing what was happening. So actually, it was not that difficult because we didn't point out the direction.
But
And
yeah.
sorry. Did you have any advice from Rita and Luna? Sorry. Did they give you any advice for feminism or how to be more open?
I think like Dolomina as a whole definitely learned us even more about intergenerational feminism. It's not something we see so much in Denmark. And I think Rita is just very inspiring, and I think the part that we obviously already knew, but it's really it really became even more clear now since we did the film, is that feminism is about how you live your life, and it's about everything in your world, everything in your day. It's like a feminist way of thinking about life all the time, every day. So it's not so important that you go to the demonstrations and that you do all these things. It's active choices every day that you make that is feminist.
Yeah, it's also like a lot of history, right? Because Rita, she was one of the founders of the Dolominas. How did you make sure that also feels relevant to also like the younger audience who maybe don't even know what the Dolominas is?
I think even though it's like about the Dolominas, I think it's a very also like general story about a lot of countries. Like everyone has these types of organizations, and the more and more people we met that were Dutch, almost all of them said, oh, they either knew someone who was in the Dolominas or they had heard about it in history classes. So almost everyone like kind of knew what it was. And I think people see it in the street a lot, so we felt like it was something that is kind of already on people's minds, but they maybe just didn't know a lot about it, and that we tried to explain that, yeah.
And how was that for... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and we also tried to not, because it's not about the Dolominas, but about Rita and Rosa and their way of thinking about feminism, we also tried not to have too many like facts and stuff about Dolominas, because we really wanted to make clear that it was not a film about Dolominas. So, yeah, not too much of it.
But as you said before, it's like everybody in the Netherlands knows about this, but was it new for you guys? Do you have a Danish equivalent to the Dolominas?
Yeah, we have, it's called Rødstrømpebevægelsen. It's like the Red Sock movement. So yeah, and I think most European countries have this.
Yeah.
But a funny thing was actually that it's also in the film that Rita went to one of the very first female camps that was in Denmark on this island called Femø. And that's like a really like a big historical thing that's happened in Denmark, which everyone knows about. And when we went to show the film in Copenhagen, a guy came up to me afterwards and says, my grandmother was on that specific camp that year that Rita was there. And then he felt even closer to the film, and that was really nice, yeah. So a certain kind of mix of Denmark and Dutch Netherlands, yeah. It was really fun.
And for the last question, what do you hope people will still be talking about after seeing this film?
As Rosa also says very clearly, and what you also said, I really hope that people will remember that that feminism is not about taking actions only or going to demonstration and all of this, but just keep it in mind all the time. And also, if you want to change something in society, you have to do something, but it can be the small things, like Rosa says, correcting a friend on a joke and doing all these small things in your everyday life. I hope that people will keep that in mind. Do you have something?
Yeah, I think it's also that maybe look at your grandparents and what they did, and they have lived so much of their lives, and they've done all these things, and talk to them and share your life with them, because they have also experienced pretty much everything that we experience now. So
yeah, and like respect the legacy of those who actually changed something in society once, and then keep the fight going.
Would you say that everyone needs to be a feminist?
Of course,
yeah,
no doubt, of course.
Yeah, if you're not a feminist, it would be quite weird.
Yeah.
It's just wanting to have like equal rights,
Yeah.
so it's not more than that actually.